Hey everybody, I am Aaron Barbosa, your instructor for this class, this piano class. I can't hide my excitement. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. And this class is very special to me because when I was first, coming up and learning piano, some of the basics I was able to get with help. But then I grew up in a time where gospel music was very popular and where people were doing lots of crazy chords that I couldn't figure out. And it was nearly impossible in that season to get somebody who would be willing to teach me like secret things like passing chords and alternates. I would play Bless the Lord, Bless the Lord, D flat, by the way. Oh, my soul, and all. I was like, yeah, I'm killing it. That is within me, bless his holy name. And then I would hear these other guys be like, bless the Lord, oh my soul, all is within me. And I'd be like, what in the world? And I could never, ever figure it out. And I remember at some point I was thinking, if I ever learn how to actually do this, I'm going to show somebody. So this is what this class is all about. This is for people that already know how to read M charts well, okay? But you want to learn more about passing chords, alternate voicings, gospel, hymns, Latin, shout, and other specialized teaching of that nature. And the reason why I say specialized is because you will not find it much, in a systematic way. It'll be one guy saying, oh yeah, here's how I play it. And then you have to try to figure it out. No, we're going to break it down and show you all of these chords and the songs that we're going to be going through. Over the next 16 weeks, we will take the time to learn these seldom taught and highly sought after topics for keyboard. I will literally go step by step to teach you how I do these things. I believe that one of the greatest values of all this are the songs that we are going to learn, because not only are they beautiful songs to minister, but they teach a very high level of placement, which is very, very huge. Remember that word. I'm going to use it a lot. And it's huge for understanding how great arrangers and great players think. You say, why is that important? Because then your approach to playing, watch this, your approach to playing from an entire, you're going to approach all your music from an entirely higher level of musicianship. So before we continue, I would recommend that you take the beginner and intermediate classes, like 16 of them of each one before you start with this. All right, I would recommend that. Of course, you're welcome to peruse and hang out, but I might not answer questions at the end that pertain to a beginner, like what is a rhythm note, or what's a one chord. Like that's all stuff from a different class. I want to make sure that the people that signed up that are advanced get as much as they could possibly get. All right, so my son Micah is over here. He is our moderator today. If you have any questions, if you're on a PC or a Mac or whatever, or maybe even an iPad or something like that, a tablet, you should be able to see a discussion area to the right, and you can go in there and ask questions, and he'll field those questions for me and let me know. For now, if you want, just let us know where you're coming from, and I'm really, really glad to be able to connect with you. And I go through the week, and I'll go and check out if anybody asks any questions. Of course, I love this course because not only is it here now while you're watching it with me, but the great value is that if you don't catch something, you can go back and get it, which is going to be great because we're going to be doing a lot of little and all that stuff. It takes a significant amount of stopping and, okay, what is he playing there? And of course, we're going to slow down and do breakdowns of all this stuff for you. Okay, so this week I am going to start off. Oh, do we have any questions or anybody saying anything, Micah? Anybody saying anything yet or questions? Sorry, I have them on earphones so you can listen to this and make sure it's all going good. No questions. Okay, great. Let's keep on going. So this week we're going to talk about understanding alternate chords or alternate voicing, okay? And then we're going to create a basic glossary for common alternate voicing more than likely, me and you are going to start off. We're going to start off probably like an E flat for some of these chords. I'm going to teach you some hymns and stuff like that to start off, just to get your feet wet with how to be able to just use these chords in different situations. Okay. And then, of course, at the end of the lesson, this is a half-hour lesson. At the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to ask questions. Michael will tell me what questions you're asking me, and then, of course, I will do my very, very best to. Excuse me, everybody. I'll have Michael open up the other side. Mike, open up the other side for Uncle Matt. We're in a working studio, so please excuse us every once in a while. My brother Matt produces here with us, by the way, and you can check that out on. Shameless plug, our vlog. You can check it all out. It's on. You can go on YouTube. It's under Minstrel, and you can see all the stuff that we do here during the week. Okay, but of course we are focused on this. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna understand alternate chords, creating a basic glossary for common alternate voicing. So let's talk about that really quickly. Okay, let's talk about this in E flat. Okay. This is a 1, okay? So let's go through the whole thing. And this might be a little remedial for some of you, but this is going to be very important for others. 1, 2, okay, these are the root positions. 3, 4, 5, okay, 6, and my unfavorite chord for some reason, I don't like this one, 7, and of course 8 is 1 again. But when you do alternate voicings, you do other voicings that work with the 1 chord. However, it's jazzier, it's more open, there's different ways to describe it. So I'll give you some basic alternate voicings for this key of E flat. There's 1. And you could use it for songs like Bless the Lord. Okay, there's 1. Then for 2, I like to do this. So it's like a 4 over 2 actually. Of course, I'm adding that. B flat. Okay. And these are chords that you're going to want to take time with. Okay. This is 3, but I'm using a 5 over 3. See? 5. What I'm adding. Now, if for some reason you cannot reach it, that's okay. You can take off that and just do this. There's for 3. Okay? And one of my favorite chords in all the earth, 4. But I like to use this voicing. It's an alternate voicing. Of course, the regular 4 is this. You can do that too. But sometimes you want to grow and be like, if you want it less cluttered, you could just go. And that's maybe what we'll go for. I use this, but I'm funny. Then 5. Instead of just, we go. Then 6, I usually do a 1 over 6. Okay? And this is my alternate voicing. 7 is almost always for me a 5 over 7. And I'll go. See that? All right. Now, all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'm sorry. I went like that. 6. Yes, you can do that one too, but 6. 5 over 7. I use that for 7, and then 1. Okay? Now, if we were playing Bless the Lord, here's how to play it in root positions. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy that. Name. That's how you play it in root positions. But now that we have these new ones, you can play it. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all. Of course, we're talking about this in another week, but we do a passing chord there. That is with, now back to our 4 alternate, in me. And this is another way of playing 4. This is a minor 4. But I always go, blessed. Oh, that's pretty. Sorry. Thank you, Jesus. I love playing pretty chords because I love listening to pretty chords. Here's a 5. There's a 7. If we wanted to show you the 6, we'd go name 4 5 over 3 4 whatever. Or some people used to go name. See that? So that's how you use alternate chords. All right, Micah, is there any questions so far? All right. So that is the basic 8 positions, and you can play so many songs. Yeah? Yeah, no questions. Okay, no questions yet? All right, guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm having Micah, my son here, he's our moderator, and he's kind of going in there and any questions we have. I also noticed a typo on the name, and we were starting too fast this morning. Sorry about that. All right, cool. He has done great things. See, he has done great things. See how full it sounds already? Just adding the alternates. He has done great things. Of course, with passing chords, excuse me, I would do something entirely different. Bless his 1 over 5, 6, an alternate version. 4 over 2, or 2, leave, 5 over 7. Name. This is 4 over 1. Then resolve to 1. So let's do that song today so that I can show you how to place these chords now in the real world. Like a real world setting, how would we do this song? Bless the Lord. Okay, so let me write this out for you so that we can learn that today. And of course, at the end of the lesson, I'll probably take a bunch of questions. All right, so here we go. And we'll talk about these passing chords more next week. This week we're going to talk about alternate chords. Next week we're going to explain what this P means on top of the 6. Whoops. I meant to put 5 passing. Don't worry if you don't understand the passing. I'm going to explain it to you next week, okay? All right. 1 over 4. Extend that a little bit. And of course, if you want to repeat that part, you just, those dots kind of tell you where you repeat. All right. Bless the Lord. Now, don't get afraid. We're going to talk about what these passing chords mean next week. This week, because I don't want to overwhelm you, I want to focus on alternate voicings. It's 1. Again, 2, 3, 4, and I love these chords. They're just so full. 5, 6, 7, or you can just go, okay, and then 1. And of course, you see me doing this a lot, which is, this is like saying this is a 4 sus2, but I'm using it with the 1, so it becomes an E flat 6 sus4. You can see that there in the chord section. flat 1. And I do this a lot. I even do. Okay. That's for a different time. Don't worry. We have, God willing, plenty of time together, okay? God willing. All right. So, bless the Lord. That's a 6 passing. We'll talk about it more next week. Here's the alternate chord for you. Oh, my soul. Here's a passing chord from next week. Oh, that is. Here's our 4 for this week. In me, bless. Here's a 4 minor. Okay, why is it 4 minor? This is a 4. If you flat the 3rd, it's a minor. But we're adding. That's pretty. The bass. And we're also adding this in the bass too. See, I went from bless his. So where it says 4M, the little M, bless his. Oh. So we said 1/5, 1/6, 5, then 5/7, then 4/1. Name. Let me make sure I make that 4/1 look more like a 4. Give me 1 second here. I'm getting the hang of this how to use this whole digital whiteboard. Oh man, that's looking terrible. Let me try that one more time. All right, there we go. And let me make sure that I'm turning this into a 4 that looks like a 4. Okay, there we go. That should be dope. Okay, one more time. Bless the Lord. Okay, for 6 passing, we're going. And we'll talk about this more next week because I'm going to show you how to go. Stuff like that. Just different things that you could do with it. But anyway, so it's bless the Lord. Here's our alternate voicing for this week. 6 passing. 4/2. Oh, my soul. Then 5/7. And that is within me, bless his. Then 1/5. Oh, name 2, 3, 4. Then resolve to 1. Okay. Now, for those of you that are already very advanced, okay, I'll show you a couple things that you can do that might sound kind of cool. Okay, this is for those of you that are advanced, all right? Of course, I'm trying to take you guys from a place where you just came out of, piano 2 or the second level intermediate. But for those of you that are more advanced than that, here's a couple things that you can do. And then from there, we'll talk about any questions you guys have, okay? So, and then also we're going to get into the chorus part, the He has done great things. He has done. That's a lot for this week, so I'm going to just start on the I want to make sure you have alternate voicings. So, here are the major alternate voicings, or the basic ones that we're going to be using. Chorus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. But if you're more advanced, there's also other ones that you can use. 1, bless the Lord. For 2, oh my soul. Actually, I won't even sing it. I'm gonna go 1, 2. For 3, you can go. So you go like this. This is the basic part of the chord. But you could follow these right here. You can go. I've heard some people go. Oh, sorry. Okay, then of course there's 4. And I use this all the time, but I mean, if you want to do that, or if you want to do, it's a similar idea. Or you have to resolve it. That's for 4. Okay, 5. Of course, it's a typical 5, but you could do a suspended version, which is more like a 4 over 5. And if you want like a diminished 4 over 5, you can go kind of old school, a little Disney-ish. Okay, then 6. But I like to also use this for 6. I know it's a monster chord, but you could pause this. That's what I love about these classes. You can pause it and take all my chords, and I hope you do. And I hope God uses them for His glory, of course, and to bless you wherever it is that you minister. Then 7. I don't do much different than 7th. Maybe like, that's the only different time I do in 7. Of course, 5 has like, there's a lot. So again, here's 1, 2, more advanced for those of you that are even more advanced. 4, or this is a stretch for me. Okay, I know if it's a stretch for me, it might be a stretch for you out there. Then 5, or 6, but I like to go. One of my favorite 6s. It's very warm, especially if you're coming from a 3 alternate chord, which we'll talk about more next week. And of course 7. Okay, so there it is. Those are some alternate voicings that you can use in the key of E flat, which is a big key for us as we start off this new series of lessons for you advanced players. All right, Mike, any questions? I want to take your questions and help you out as much as possible. Of course, let me write this down. This is bless the Lord, so we can know what we're talking about once we finally.
No questions.
Okay, no questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I know there's a little bit of delay on the feed, like from the time you see me and I ask you, hey, do you have a question? And then like 2 minutes later, you might see it. So I think it's 1 minute, but okay. So bless the Lord. And we're going to add to this chart next week because we're going to have, He has done great things. He has done. I want to talk about all that stuff, passing chords, but I want to make sure that we're not putting so much out there that it's not even something that you can ingest into your playing. So let's do a little overview of what we're talking about this week, okay? We're talking about alternate chords, alternate voicings in the key of E flat. Here's the root, okay, but we're doing for 1. Here's the root for 2. But we're doing, sounds pretty nice. Here's the root for 3. But we're doing, here's the root for 4. But of course we're saying, which I think is going to be awesome. Here's the root for 5. But of course we're going, or just like that if you want. I like to add the T. Hear it when it comes in. And 1 over 6. Okay. But of course, this is the root. Then 7, that's the root, but I don't like it, so I go. And then of course, 1 brings us back. Some people say 8, 1, it's the same thing. See? However you look at it, it's kind of like the same thing. So. Well, okay, so any questions? This is pretty much the most of what I want to go over in the week. I feel like any more than this for the first lesson might be a little unnecessarily challenging.
No questions.
Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do now for the end of our time together, since there's no questions at this time, of course, later on, if those of you that watch the rebroadcast, feel free to ask questions, and I'll try to go and answer as much as I possibly can. But I'm going to play the tutorial for you in time, And I'm going to use these chords that we talked about this week. Now, because I'm going to be playing from this chart that you see in front of you, I will use the passing chords, even though we are not discussing them until the next lesson, okay? But all the ones that are just like 1, 4 over 2, 5 over 7, 4, 4 minor, 5 over 1, 1 over 6, 5, 5 over 7, 4 over 1 and 1, I'll show you guys all those right now. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Let me find a tempo for this real quick. And for those of you that don't know, I talked about this in the last one, in the last class, last 2 classes actually. Here's this really great app, and it allows you to tap the tempo. So like, bless the Lord. You gotta be able to tap on time, of course. Oh my soul. Okay, this thing says about 62, 63. Let's see if this is right. So you go over to metronomeonline.com. All you have to do is just go to like a Google search and just put like Metronome Online, and you'll see it come up. But if not, it's www.metronomeonline.com. Okay, and you're gonna see this metronome, and you can just start it. What did we say it was? The BPM, the tempo, 62. So start it, and I'll find like something like 62. The closest on here is 63. Bless the Lord. Okay, that sounds good. So we'll play with that. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy name. Now, if you want to play in quarters like that, you can do it again. Let me show you. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. But be light on the touch, okay? And all that is within me, bless His holy name. 2, 3. We're going to discuss this next week. He has done great things. He has done great things. He has done great things. Bless His holy. Just like the other part. And of course, you don't see this because we haven't written it out yet, because we're discussing this next week. Okay, there it is. That's a tutorial of how you play that song in time. And of course, we did it slowly before. If for some reason you have any questions on the chords and anything like that, feel free to ask. But I would definitely encourage you, as we get ready to close out this session, learn these chords slowly. Don't be in a hurry. That's the beauty of video lessons. Even if it's like, I need this whole week to do this and I'm not sure if I'm ready for the next one, we archive all the lessons. You can come back and go in order so that you really learn this in a systematic way. I am being careful to not jump ahead. I want to be like, bless the Lord. But I can't do that because I want to make sure that even though this is an advanced class, that we're taking our time to step-by-step learning all this stuff. I'm so happy you joined us today. We'll see you on the next class. Hope you have a great and fantastic day. We'll see you later.